Hi, Dr. Jenna Andrade, the Active Persons Chiropractor, and today I wanted to share some tips with you guys about how to have less pain and more comfort when you are working at a desk. So I know that a lot of my patients and those of you out there have jobs where you are required to be at a desk. So let's talk about some ways that we can make that more comfortable for you. So number one is having a desk that is ergonomic. So I actually did a video on this previously, so you can reference that for the specifics, but I'll give you just kind of the Cliff's Notes version of what to look for. So you want a desk that is going to keep your body in the most neutral position. So neutral for the upper body is going to be the elbows and shoulders at 90 degrees and the wrist in a neutral position, so not up like this or down like that. And same thing for the hips and knees, so we want those both to be at 90-degree angles. We want our feet supported either on the floor or on a footrest where you can use a book or something like that. And then we also want to be looking at the screen and looking down rather than leaning forward or bringing our head down. So we want to have that screen placement in a place where we can actually achieve that. So that's number one. The other thing I recommend is if you are at a desk for multiple hours a day, I recommend getting up and doing breaks regularly, whether it's a stretch break or you get up to get a glass of water, you go talk to a coworker if you're in an office, if you're at home, maybe you go grab a snack or just do a lap around the house or maybe a quick lap around the block. Just getting up and changing your state will help your productivity, it will help your body to feel better, you'll be more comfortable, and you'll be more focused and have better attention when you do come back to do some work. The other thing I recommend is having an ergonomic chair, which I did address in a previous video as well, but I typically recommend for the highlights of that is that you want to have a high back chair that you can sit back into and that supports your head, like you can see that I have. If you can get something with adjustable armrests, that's best to keep those elbows and shoulders at that ergonomic position that we talked about earlier, and having something that has lumbar support, so support for the lower back, so that we can kind of cradle that lower back in that natural curve that we have, and then just making sure that you sit all the way back into the chair. The other option or thing that I recommend is if you have access to a sit-stand desk, I think that is probably the best option, so that you have the option to change your position throughout the day, and if you're tired you can sit, or if you just really need to change things up you can stand. Having that option to do both I think is ideal, because staying in any one position for a long period of time is not ideal for our bodies, and that's not how our bodies were intended to function. So being able to change that up when you need to or when you want to is a really helpful thing. Hopefully you found these tips helpful. Thanks for listening. Dr. Jenna Andrade, the Active Persons Chiropractor.